quadratic equation by graphing it, right? And so it was a lot of work. We had to do the axis of symmetry. We had to find the vertex. We had to plug in points. It was a lot of different things that we had to do. Today, we're going to learn a little bit of a shortcut, another way to solve a quadratic equation without actually having to physically graph it, okay? So remember, the roots of a quadratic, or another word for it is solutions, or what are the other words that we used yesterday? Roots, solutions, and what else? Zeros. Perfect. X-intercepts.
We use a piece of paper?
Because we're going to put this in our notebooks. So the roots, solutions, zeros, or x-intercepts, right, are the points where your graph crosses the x-axis. Those are the answers that we're looking for, right? So these are the points where our parabola crosses the x-axis.
Right, all this?
Yep. So the root, solutions, or zeros where our x-intercepts are the points where our parabola crosses the x-axis. So like I said, yesterday it was quite a bit of work because we had to find the axis of symmetry, the vertex. We had to plug everything in. We had to graph it, and then if you didn't have enough points, you had to pick another point and graph it again. So it was a lot of work, and additionally, sometimes you're going to have graphs that are not perfect, like they don't go exactly on a point, and so it's very hard to solve for a quadratic if it's not like a perfect graph. So this is another way that we're going to solve for it, doing factoring. You've probably seen this before, actually. I think as we go through it, you're going to go, oh, I remember doing this actually. So factoring is going to be one shortcut, and then I'm going to show you a third shortcut next week called a quadratic equation, and then you can, once you've learned all three of those, you can kind of pick and choose to use whichever one works best for the situation, okay? So we're going to work on this little booklet. I'm going to work on the booklet first and then glue it into our notebooks, okay? Just so you have enough space. But we're going to practice today doing some factoring. All right, are you ready to rumble?
Okay.
Well, I don't have a notebook. I just have paper, and then I put my paper in my binder, so you're fine. That's good. All right, booklet, ready? Let's rumble. So what we're going to do is over here at the factor part, we're going to put the equation that we're going to solve for, and then we're going to find the solutions using something called the box method of factoring. And so you might have learned this before, maybe like in algebra. Oh, in science, really?
Yes, that's a
Punnett square. It's a similar kind of idea, though, where you take like the pieces and you kind of you do, isn't it like multiplication for the Punnett square?
No, you just take, there's the two.
They give you like recessive or dominant here and recessive or dominant here, and then you figure out the interior of these pieces. Yeah. That's pretty much the exact same thing we're gonna do, just with math, like with numbers instead of with letters. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Cool, that's a good connection. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna start by factoring the equation. Y equals x squared plus 3x minus 10. X squared plus 3x minus 10. Now, we're not graphing it, but if we were to graph it, would this be a happy graph or a sad graph?
Happy.
This would be a happy graph, okay, good. Remember, you can either have two solutions where it crosses it twice. You can have one solution where it crosses the x-axis just once, or you can have no solution where it's above or below the graph and it never touches, okay? First thing we're going to do is just like what we've done before, we're just going to identify our A, B, and C values, and we're going to write them out. So our A value is 1. B is 3. And C is negative 10. Perfect. Okay, easy peasy so far. Now, in science, you were given like the traits on the outside and you figured out the interior, In factoring, we're gonna go just the opposite way. We're gonna put down the interior and we're gonna figure out what those exteriors are. Your name, that's okay, then just write it down next to it, you're fine. Or grab another one. Okay, so in these boxes here, it's always gonna be the same setup. In this first box on the upper left, this is where our A value is gonna go. In the one that's diagonal from it over here, this is where our C value is going to go. So from the equation that they've given us, we're going to actually take the whole term, not just the constant. We're going to take the whole term. So in this box A, I'm going to write in 1x squared. So it's the first part of my equation, 1x squared. Okay, that was this piece here. This was... Okay, so here's my A box. And your A box is always going to go right there in that spot, every time. The one diagonal from it is going to be your C box. And so what value am I going to put over here in my C? Good, you're going to put -10 right over here. Great. So far, so good. -10. Okay. So I have my A value and I've got my C value. Now, these two boxes over here are going to make up our B value. So our B value is 3x. And so what I need to do is I need to find two numbers that are going to multiply to be my A and C values, but add up to be my B value. So it looks like this. So down over here, you've got this little X. Little diamond. At the top, we're going to put A times C. So I need to come up with two numbers that multiply to give me A times C. So in my problem, what's my A times C in this first one here? 1 and -10. Good. So what is 1 times -10? It's just -10. Huh? You know what? It seems like a lot of work now, but the more we do it, the more you're going to go, oh, wait, this is so easy. So I'm going to come up with two numbers that multiply to give me my A times C value, and they have to add up to be my B value. And my B value is what? 3. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to come up with two numbers that multiply to give me -10. But when I add them together, I get +3. So let's just write out some numbers. What are two numbers that multiply to give me -10? 2 and -5. Good. Now, if you were to add 2 and -5, what do you get? If you were to add those two together, you would get -3. Okay, is that what I'm looking for? No, so that's not right. So let's try another one. With another two numbers that multiply to give me -10. Yeah, good. So a -2 and a +5. And if you add -2 and +5, what do you get? You get +3. So this is the answer that I'm looking for. -2 and +5. So these are my answers, -2 and +5. I'm now just going to take those two answers and I'm going to transfer them back into the box up over here. So these two numbers you just came up with, they're going to go over here. These are your B values. So this is, it does not matter which one you put where. I'm going to put the -2 at the top, and it has to add up to an X value, so -2x. And then my other one was +5x. So these two here are your B value. They add up to give me +3. Okay, so far so good? All right, now we've got on the inside here, this is like if I did the multiplication, this is what the result would be. I have to figure out what two numbers are going to multiply to give me each one of these boxes, okay? So my first one is x squared. You don't even really need the 1. So something times something gives me x squared. What two numbers would I have to multiply together to get me to x squared? What times what? It's definitely both a 1, yeah. And then how do you get x squared? What times what gives you x squared? 1x times 1x gives you 1x squared. Exactly. So I'm not even going to put the x, or the 1, I'm sorry. I'm just going to put x times x. So if you do x times x, you get x squared. Now let's fill out the rest of it.
X times 2? No.
So let's go down here. X times what number gives me 5x? X times 5 gives me 5x. Good. And now I've got one more box up here, and you can kind of do it any way you want. This x over here times what gives me this one? Yeah, -2. So your factors for this problem are x minus 2 and x plus 5, because it's a positive 5. So your factors look like this. We write it like this. X minus 2 in parentheses times x plus 5 in parentheses. Okay, we're almost done. I know it seems like a lot, but the more we do it, the better you're going to get at it. The faster it'll come. Now, to find the actual intercepts, the place where they cross, I'm setting both of these equations equal to 0. Because essentially what you're doing is if you set the y up here equal to 0, you'll get where your graph crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to do each one of these individually, and it's super quick and super easy. I'm going to take just this piece, x minus 2, and set it equal to 0. And it's a one-step algebra problem. What do I need to do to get the x by itself? Move the 2 by doing what? Adding the 2. You get x equals positive 2. So one of your answers, one of your solutions is positive 2. So if we were to graph it, it would cross at positive 2 on the x-axis. That's one of your solutions. I'm going to do the same with the second piece. X plus 5 equals 0. It seems like too much, but the more you do it, the faster you're going to get, I swear.
No, that's still
It's the first problem. It's okay. Now, if we've done 500 of these and you still don't get it, then I'd be concerned, but it's problem 1. You're good. No worries. I'm going to do the same thing here. I want to get the x by itself, so I'm going to subtract 5. X equals -5. So your two solutions to this problem without graphing are at positive 2 and -5. That's your final answer. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so if you were to graph it, it would cross at -5 and positive 2. So we write our final answer, x equals, and remember we put them in the curly brackets. X equals 2 and -5 are my two answers. So that's your final answer. So without graphing, here we have it.
You bet. No, I'm not.
Basically what?
I'm going to say joke you
About to say what? Okay, if I do go like this, let's just check really quickly. Desmos graphing. So when I come over here, if I put in, come on, Desmos. Okay, if I put in the we just did. Wow, this is very slow. Yeah, like real slow. Probably could have graphed it ourselves by now. Y equals x squared plus 3x minus 10. So that's the graph of the equation we just did. And if you look where it crosses the x-axis, one of them is at -5 and the other one is at +2. And that's exactly the answers we got, so we did it right. Woo! Shortcut. Maybe it doesn't feel like a shortcut right now, but it will. I swear. All right, questions so far? Are you ready to try another one? All right, let's open it up. Let's try another one. Why am I what? Just chill out.
Is there another way, like, we could solve it?
There will be a third way that we'll practice next week, but this is the second way. But yes, there's another way. It seems like a lot right now. I promise you, in 2 days, you're gonna go, this is way easier than graphing. Doesn't feel that way right now. But do you guys not remember we did this when we did systems of equations? You guys were like, substitution's the best. And then by the end, you're like, wait, elimination's the best. Do you remember you changed your minds last time? You're going to change your mind. I swear. All right, let's do the next one. Open it up. Next equation is, all right, y equals x squared minus x minus 20. X squared minus x minus 20. So we're going to start by just writing down our a, b, and c values. What's your a value?
1, -1, and
Good. 1, -1, and -20. Great. Now remember, first box on the left is your a value. Bottom box on the right is your c value. So in the first box, I'm going to put 1x squared. And in the blue box, I'm going to put what? -20. Great. All right. Now we come down to our little x here, my little cross. Oh my gosh.
Are you just thinking numbers out of nowhere?
No, I did these ones yesterday already to make sure that they're nice. And don't give you crazy numbers. All right. A times C is the first thing. What are your two numbers that are A times C? 1 times -20 gives you what?
Is this paper our notes?
Mhm.
-20.
Gives you -20. Good. And it has to add up to your B value. What's your B value? -1. Okay. So I have to come up with two numbers that multiply to give me -20, but add up to give me -1. So what are two numbers that multiply to get me to 20? Okay. 20 and -1. If you add 20 and -1 together, what are you going to get? You're going to get 19. Okay, so that one is not a good choice. What's another two numbers that multiply to get me to 20? We did 1 and 20. That one's clearly not going to work out for me.
Like, multiply to 20.
Multiply to 20.
5.
What?
10 and 2.
10 and 2. What did you say? 2 and 10 is a good one. 10 and 2. But even if I make, doesn't matter which one I make negative right now, -10 times 2. If I add those together, what do I get?
5 times -4.
There you go. 5 and 4 multiply to get me to 20, but now you want them to add up to be -1. So which one of them has to be the negative? Oh, you want them to add up to be the 5, the bigger one. You want it to be a negative number. -5. So your two numbers are -5 and +4. All right, so now -5 and +4 come right here into these two. Does not matter where you put them. I'm going to put -5x on top and 4x on the bottom. All right.
Oh,
So I was adding them together because I know they multiply to give me 20, but when I add them up, I got -8 there, and that's not what I wanted. This one gave me what I wanted. Okay. So I was just showing some work. All right. So now I got to figure out what two numbers multiply. So this first one right here should be easy. What times what gives you 1? Yeah, x and x. And the other two should probably be pretty easy now too. X times what gives you 4x? Okay. Ah, look at that. Easy peasy.
That part.
Okay, so your factors are x minus 5 and x plus 4. Now, you would set each one of them equal to 0. They're both a one-step equation. They're really easy. If you set x minus 5 equal to 0, what do you have to do to get x by itself? Add the 5 over. So what are you going to get? The other way. Yeah, so it's just the opposite of whatever's there. If you add 5, you get x equals 5. If you, I have a positive 4 here, so I would have to subtract it. So you would get -4. So your answers are +5 and -4. We put them in our curly Q little brackets, fancy brackets. So essentially, the really nice part is whatever your factors are, you just switch the sign, and that's your solution. No, it's not. We got like 20 minutes. All right, can I give you one to try? Yes. I believe in you.
I don't think I'm good.
Again, we've done 2 problems. Chill out. You don't have to be good at it right now. Yes. Mm-hmm. All right, ready? Here's one you're gonna do. Oh Lord. What? Yes, you can. No, you can do it. I believe in you. You guys are funny. Y equals x squared plus 10x plus 28.5. Give that one a try. I'll give you about 4 minutes.
Why did you give us the biggest?
Oh my gosh, these are they're all
They're
positives.
so big though.
Okay, you can't come up with numbers that multiply. This one's the easiest one ever. Follow the same steps. Write down your A, B, and C, and then put your pieces in the puzzle where they belong. Think about it, yeah, think about it as a puzzle. That's all this is. What? No, this next one, this one is like a 20-piece puzzle. This one's easy.
You gotta say the 2 things that multiply gotta add up to.
So they have to multiply to be A times C, and they have to add up to be the B value.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
In a second, you're gonna see why this was an easy one.
I know. It's 10. How come so it's hard?
Well, that just seems like a personal problem. All right, well, Talia, why don't you walk me through it?
Okay, so 5 and 5 equals 5. It adds up to 10.
Okay, so your two factors are 5 and 5. Easy peasy, good. Now what?
And then you put 5 and 5 in this box.
5x and 5x, because they have to add up to be 10 x's, so we can't forget that piece. Okay.
You put the x in the first top, and then that was so hard. And then you put 5 and 5 in the other two boxes.
Okay, so x times 5 gives you 5x. 5. You could even say 5 times 5 gives me 25, right? There's a lot of ways to go about it. So your two factors are what? No.
Oh, we have that too?
Yeah, because you don't have the final answer. So it's one step. It's -5 and -5. So look, you can't just leave it like that. These are the factors. So maybe we should write that down next to it. These are factors right here. But you do have to solve it to get to the final answer. And so yes, each one of those, if I set them equal to 0, you just subtract 5 from both sides. You get -5 twice, which means there's only one solution. So if you graphed it, it would only touch the x-axis one time. So you really want to stay here and tell me that was hard?
You just said we have to solve it.
I just did solve it. Because if you put x plus 5 equal to 0, what do you have to do to get x by itself? You subtract the 5. X is -5. You're not done. You just forgot the last step. That's okay.
Done.
Oh, I thought you said done. Well, you're not done because there's still clearly 2 more left.
You doing that for us on our own?
I'm going to give you, yes.
Can you do just one more with us and then we'll do the last one and you won't complain about it? I mean, I
That
can't
sounds
speak,
like a good idea.
I can't speak for everybody else, but I will. Just do one more with us and then I will complain about the last one.
Okay.
Sure. Make sure you give us the easy one to do last.
Well, now you're asking for too much. All right. Second to last one. Do we have questions so far that I can answer? We feeling okay? I'm telling you, the more that we do, the better you're going to feel about them, and the easier it's going to get for you, truly. Okay. Did you guys not do this in Algebra 1, factoring? You didn't do the box method before?
I didn't do the box, we just did one.
The tree thing? Yeah. Okay. Here's your next one. Ready?
Do Mr. Kane still works here?
Nope.
Oh, I have
He moved away. Georgia.
I'm from Georgia too.
All right. Last one I'm going to do with you. Ready? First thing we're going to do is determine our A value, B value, and C value. Now be careful. What's your A value? 1. What's your B value? 0. What's your C value? Okay. So in the pink box up here, what do I put? 1x squared. Good. Write the whole term. What do I put in the blue box? -36. Okay. So I need to come up with two numbers that multiply to give me A times C and add up to give me B. So what is your A times C value? Hold on. A times C. 1 times -36 is -36.
So 6 times -6.
And your B value is 0. So yes, 6 times -6 gives you -36.
6 times 6.
Well,
Negative.
one has to be negative, right? So a positive 6 and a negative 6, because when you add positive and negative 6 together, you get
0.
nothing. It goes away. All right, so let's fill out the box now. This part's easy.
So it'll be -6 and 6 for the factors.
Okay, so negative, well, hold on, wait, chill out. We're getting excited.
I'm not getting some.
You get I'm done with this. Okay. What do I put in my two boxes here? What times what?
Negative 6. Negative 6.
X.
Oh.
X and X. Okay, now based on the way I wrote it, what number goes down here?
6.
No, -6.
6.
The positive or negative down here?
Positive.
This one's positive, and this one would be negative. So now look, your factors, if I ask you to write down your factors are, like you guys said, x plus 6 and x minus 6. If you set them equal to 0 and solve for them, what are you going to get? -6 and +6, exactly, because they would just flip-flop signs. So your answer is -6 and +6. You really want to sit here and tell me that this is hard,
It was at first because you were going turtle motion while teaching it to us.
but then it got easy, right? It's faster than graphing, that's for dang sure, as long as you follow the same thing. All right, here is,
We should do this by ourselves.
you're going to do this next one by yourself. Where are we over in this class? 51?
No complaining of us.
Yeah, no complaining. You promised, no
I
complaining.
didn't promise.
Yes, you said you wouldn't. You literally made
Okay,
the
but I won't.
promise.
I promise I won't.
Okay, ready? Last one.
Give us a hard one.
Oh, come on. You really think I'm not going to give you a hard one?
Oh, guys.
Y equals, oh wait, I got to do the back side. I said do this. 3x squared
Now you want to put a number.
minus 16x
We don't practice almost all X's.
plus 5. Oh, no, you said no complaining.
Nobody else is right. You're silly stuff.
All right, give it a try. It's still the same setup. Put your pieces in the boxes and follow the same steps. I believe in you. Work with the people. Talk to the people that are next to you. Talk to them.
Would it be the X and 3 in the yeah?
So would it be 3 times 3 or X times?
The squares.
Well, you can't do 3 and 3 because that's gonna give you 9.
So it would be
So the X.
One's gonna have to
X
be
and 3.
one's gonna have to be an X, and one's gonna have to be a 3x. Yeah.
Huh?
X and 3.
Just keep following the steps.
I mean,
No, I already did that. I'm talking about for the 8 times C. You might not want that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you come back up to one of those?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm confused. Oh, once you stop.
Well, remember it's A times C. You did A times C. 3 is your A, 5 is your C. 3 times 5 is not 45, right? That's why.
said. No, it's 1 and 15. 1.
74 times -4. Girl, you know that shit.
He's not aggravating.
Whoa.
Okay, so Mr. Marceau.
Yes.
So you see where 5 and 5 is. Don't you add it, right?
Correct.
Exactly.
So
I know what I'm talking about.
let's start here, right? Here's my box. I've just got it highlighted.
-1 and 15.
Okay, hold on. Wait, just hold on. Let's just put in my pink box goes what? 3x squared. In my blue box goes what? 5. Okay. So I have to come up with two numbers that multiply to give me a times c. What's your a times c? 15. Two numbers that multiply to give me 15, but add up to give me what? -16. So now, think about this for a second. If they multiply to be positive, but add up to be negative, that means they both have to be what kind of numbers? Negative numbers. So now I heard 4 and 4, right? -4, I agree, times -4 is definitely
16, but it's not right.
Wait, no. 4, hold on a second. -4 times -4 gives you your B value. You needed to multiply to give you your C value. 4 times 4 is 16. That's not 15. That doesn't work. Okay. So 3 times 5 is definitely positive 15, but what is -3 plus -5?
I'm telling you, it's 1 and 15.
This is -8 when you add them together. Yes! So Talasia's right.
And y'all was looking at me like I was stupid.
So -1 times -15 is 15. And when you add together -1 plus -15, you get -16 when you add them. Right, that's like saying I borrowed $1, then I borrowed another $15. I borrowed $16 in total. So your numbers are -1 and -15.
Okay, I got the numbers right. You still
Negative. Okay, so again, does not matter where you put them. I put my -1 on the top, and I'm going to put my -15x on the bottom left. Okay, now this is the part where we have to be careful. Got to be careful here. What times what's going to give me 3x squared? 1 of them is going to have to be an x. One of them is going to have to be a 3x, but I don't know which one's which. Well, if you put 3 here, okay, 3x's and x here, that's fine. I agree. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times what gives you -15? -5. X times what gives you -1x? -1. So your factors are 3x minus 1 and x minus 5. I don't know why you're cleaning up because we are finishing up the problem. These are my factors. They're equal to 0. I have to set each one equal to 0. Now, if you put x minus 5 equal to 0, what are you going to get? What do you have to do to get x by itself? It's already a minus, so you add. So one of your answers is +5. And the other one is you take 3x minus 1, set it equal to 0. It's algebra. You've got to add the 1. You get 3x equals 1. And then how do you get the x by itself? Divide by 3. You get x equals 1/3. It's a fraction. 1 divided by 3. Oh, yeah, you definitely got to deal with it. Yeah, 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. All right. Whew, I'll leave that up. You want to take a pic of it. Okay, we're going to do more factoring tomorrow. No, we're gonna practice this and then we'll learn something new next week, the third way. And we'll be singing next week because it's a song. All right, have a wonderful day. I'll see you gems tomorrow.
I gotta turn my paper.
Thank you. Stop shaking. No, stop.